Hello and welcome back to Talent 101. This is Wall Okizeme now, and we're gonna start off with the basics, the classics of Tekken 7. So as you saw there, that was LFS F+4 and the usual. So I'm gonna link the old Tekken 7 video in this video if you'd like to watch the old version, because most of the options there are more or less the options I'm gonna show you here. So if you do end the combo on 3F4, you can get the RFF B+2, you can get back turn mix-ups, so you do 1+2, you can get either the plasma blades, the grabs, so on and so forth. The other thing you could also get is to do forward 3, and then now you have left flamingo options on your hands. If you want, you can also do stuff like F neutral 4 and then get RFS F4 as they wake up, and of course you just adjust depending on like if they're waking up into a button, they're waking up into a crouch, or they do any of the wake up buttons like wake up 4, wake up low, recovery kick, spring kick, stuff like that. But Hwoarang does have something new out of like all the other old options I just mentioned. And that's interestingly DF3. Well, not interestingly, I bet you already know, because in like the last 3 Oki videos, it was kind of there. RFF DF3 definitely has a presence. Yeah, that's kind of like the Oki in general, because the opponent cannot challenge. Like if you throw out, you end the combo and then do any of these options, your opponent just has to take it. So I'm gonna tech roll right now. This is RFF B+2. And yeah, as you can see, like on the left side of the screen, I pressed 4 like multiple times as I tech, and nothing came out. Nothing. So it's just like, okay, maybe you can heat burst, right? Let's try it. I'm gonna go for a heat burst challenge here as I tech, and heat burst still doesn't come out. So at that point, you're locked to a +4, which is pretty good for Hwoarang. But like the only way Hwoarang's beating this is if Hwoarang stays on the floor and then side rolls, and then you get a punish. And that's probably the most an opponent is going to be getting against you. So because if they wake up to like press a button, at that point you've recovered enough after your RFF B+2. And the same thing applies if they do DF3. So tech roll again and mash. This time if you mash, you're caught in a bad spot. And then one last, this is the flamingo option, where Hwoarang does forward 3, tech roll, and then mash. Nothing comes out. And now again, Hwoarang is +4, has 4 frames of advantage in left flamingo, and there's nothing the opponent can do about it. None at all. Like, you're completely safe. And just to prove it further, we're gonna grab rage here. And I'm gonna like try to spam Rage Art after teching. Doesn't come out. You lose. One more time on RFF DF3. Tech roll. It worked. Let's try that again just to be sure. So it's a matter of timing. It is 100% a matter of timing here if an opponent will be able to get their Rage Art or not. So it's still a tough spot, and they have to like really hit that specific frame. And then now dash RFF B+2, tech roll into Rage Art, and didn't even activate there. Not at all. So yeah, that's how good like these Okizeme options are for the most part. So now let's go through all the options one by one, and just know that here on ground technique, quick back roll and quick recovery do not work. If you do end the combo on 3F4, again, quick recovery does not work there, as you can see. And we move to back quick roll. 1, 2. Nothing. Does not activate. So the only things you have to worry about on ground technique would be tech roll left and tech roll right. So we're gonna check with tech roll left again. So of course, add a tornado so that you can maximize your damage. And then yeah, the opponent is waking up to block this, whether they tech roll to the left or they tech roll to the right. The only 2 options out of the 4, and then you're gonna move on to wake up. So stand up. This is again still RFF back 2. And they still get hit because the opponent is extending the hurt box as they're waking up. For the most part, it would seem that to avoid RFF back 2, the opponent would have to like probably side roll or stay on the floor. Yeah, there you go, side roll, and then you're still gonna recover at an advantage as the opponent wakes up there. Just fine. Like, you can do a lot in that situation. And now we're in wake up kicks. RFF back 2. Now that's not a counter hit, so you don't get extra damage, but that's fine. You still keep the opponent on the floor. And you can like follow up with a down back 4. And if they still force the issue, and if you had heat active, well, that's their problem and not yours. 1, 2. Now that's not a counter hit, but then that's an FS3 follow up right over there. We move on to spring kick, which is the last option to test against RFF back 2. And yeah, pretty good. Again, only side rolls and staying on the floor will beat this. So now we're gonna go back to tech roll left, and we're gonna check for RFF DF3 this time. Now this move does have one hell of a hitbox. And yeah, they can get a rage art depending on how fast they are. But it is not easy to get. So you can just hit them with those. And then now, if they try to do stand up after ending on the regular wall B&B combo, they'll block that. But will they get hit here? Oh, they do get hit here. We move to front roll. I mean, you could kind of like make it a motto or a tagline. Like, when in doubt, just RFF DF3 as your Oki. It's like, hey, what's my Oki after doing this wall combo? Oh, RFF DF3. That's it. Every single time. Or in times that it's applicable, wherein you're in left foot forward or you're in right foot forward. So that's 2 times where Hwoarang is going to get a wall splat there, along with heat. If you haven't spent heat yet. Like, this is a tough spot for the opponent to be in. Very, very tough spot. So we're gonna go back to tech roll left. So this time we're gonna go to the left flamingo, forward 3 into 3 forward. Yep. And they gotta block that, so that could be +2 or +4, whichever you take. Of course, if they do tech roll this way, right? If they tech roll towards the right, as you can see, they have more room to like get away from you. Of course, the side wall is towards your right and their left, so they can't really step left. Stepping left will put them in a worse spot. But of course, they're naturally gonna try to sidestep right. So if they do tech roll this way, be prepared to like sidestep left to like try to reposition them back here. Next up, going to stand up again. 1, 2, forward 3. And yep, they're gonna wake up to block that. And of course, if they press a button, well, it's gonna be pretty bad for the opponent there. Wake up backwards, do the hitting. Next one, that is front roll. Now we're on side rolls. This is side roll left. And just like RFF back 2, as that whiffs, you're still at an advantage. So I wouldn't worry too much as the move whiffs, because you can do stuff like this. And they're gonna have to like deal with that. So it's just like, oh, okay, that didn't work. I can still get another one. So no heat engager here on the wake up mid kick. But heat engager on the left, on the low kick rather. 2 more options left to go. And the opposing Hwoarang do be getting hit. All the time. One last, and that is the back turn mix-ups. Now, do you have a couple of options in back turn mix-up? So as soon as you get it right, you can go for a throw. See, this is a command throw. This is jackknife. Or you can go for the plasma blades, either left or right. And then if they do press a button as they're waking up, the back turn down 3 will turn it into a counter hit launcher. And you can just like back 3 right away for a full combo. But for the most part, when testing for the options over here, I will just simply be doing back turn 3 or back turn 4. We're gonna start it off already. Yep. They're not avoiding that. They gotta deal with that. So for as long as they're blocking the mid, that means you can do the grab and the low, which is really, really good. Stand up. Of course, the pushback is far less here compared to Tekken 7, or at least that's what it looks like. I don't remember it being like this close to the opponent. So if your opponent has a really good 13 frame punish, be wary of that as you go for these options. I mean, like, it's just something to mix it up along with like the 3 other options that you have to like use. So it's like, okay, hey, the plasma blade there lost. Yeah, so just use the other plasma blade and then it's gonna hit the side roll. Because the tracking for each one is a little bit different depending on like where they go. So now we're going to wake up mid kick. We want to see if this like does relaunch the opponent, and it does. Yeah, and that's really bad for the opponent. Wake up low kick. 1, 2. Yeah, and that's still a high wall splat. You can get way more damage than the damage I'm doing right now. Oh, okay, recovery kick do be hitting. And I am doing it with the timing of like holding down for back turn. But if you just do it straight up after you do disrespect, instead of adding the down, then yeah, you'll beat recovery kick. But if you do include the timing, then you lose to one option. But spring kick, yeah, just one option. That's it. One option. So that's how good like this Oki's been. So like ever since this has turned into like Hwoarang's go-to wall combo since Tekken 7, its options also are still really good in Tekken 8. And there's still way more stuff you can do. Like you can do stand switch into RFF down 3+4. And you can even do stuff like running 3 if you so please. And they'll wake up to like +6. And then there's still FF3, so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's just like overall reliable. And it gives you like more control in like what you want to do. Whether you want to do stuff from RFF, you want to do stuff from left foot forward, you want to do stuff from back turn. And your opponent has to like keep track of like all of those options. And then they're still trying to like spam when they can't spam right. They can barely rage art, they can barely power thrust. So yeah, next time you get a combo, hit them with these options and continue some pressure or get some damage out of it. So that's been the lesson for this video. I've been Frontier. I'll see you in the next one.